Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we are going to begin reading the next of the Iliad books. I know we've only just recently finished this one, but I do actually kind of want to finish the Iliad. So we are going to read from 18 to 20 books 18 to 24 going forward. So let's get going. The Iliad of Homer, the Iliad. Book 18. Argument. The grief of Achilles and new armour made him by Vulcan. The news of the death of Patroclus is brought to Achilles by Antilochus. Thetis, hearing his lamentations, comes with all her sea nymphs to comfort him. The speeches of the mother and son on this occasion. Iris appears to Achilles by the command of Juno and orders him to show himself at the head of the entrenchments. The sight of him turns the fortunes of the day, and the body of Patroclus is carried off by the Greeks. The Trojans call a council where Hector and Polydamas disagree in their opinions, but the advice of the former prevails, to remain encamped in the field. The grief of Achilles over the body of Patroclus. Thetis goes to the palace of Vulcan to obtain new arms for her son. Wait, no, I think this is still the thing, isn't it? Sorry, yeah. Thetis goes to the palace of Vulcan to obtain new arms for her son. The description of the wonderful works of Vulcan, and lastly that noble one of the shield of Achilles. The latter part of the 29th day, and the night ensuing, take up this book. The scene is at Achilles' tent on the seashore, from whence it changes to the palace of Vulcan. Thus, like the rage of fire, the combat burns, 250, and now it rises, now it sinks by turns. Meanwhile, where Hellespont's broad waters flow, stood Nestor's son, the messenger of woe. There sat Achilles, shaded by his sails, on hoisted yards extended to the gales. Pensive he sat, for all that fate designed rose in sad prospect to his boding mind. Thus to his soul he said, "Ah, what constrains the Greeks late victors now to quit the plains? Is this the day which heaven so long ago ordained to sink me with its weight of woe?" So Thetis warned, when by a Trojan hand the bravest of the Myrmidonian band should lose the light. Fulfilled is that decree, fallen is the warrior, and Patroclus is he. In vain I charged him soon to quit the plain, and warned to shun Hectorean force in vain. Thus while he thinks, Antilochus appears, and tells the melancholy tale with tears. Sad tidings, son of Peleus, thou must hear, and wretched I, the unwilling messenger. Dead is Patroclus, for his course they fight. His naked corse, his arms are Hector's right. A sudden horror shot through all the chief, and wrapped his senses in the cloud of grief. Cast on the ground with furious hands he spread the scorching ashes o'er his graceful head. His purple garments and his golden hairs, those he deforms with dust, and these he tears. On the hard soil his groaning breast he threw, and rolled and grovelled as to earth he grew. The virgin captives with disordered charms, won by his own or by Patroclus' arms, rushed from their tents with cries and gathering round, beat their white breasts and fainted on the ground. While Nestor's son sustains a manlier part, and mourns the warrior with a warrior's heart, hangs on his arms amidst his frantic woe, and oft prevents the meditated blow. Far in the deep abysses of the main, 251, with hoary Nereus and the watery train, the mother goddess from her crystal throne heard his loud cries and answered groan for groan. The circling Nereids with their mistress weep, and all the sea-green sisters of the deep. Thalia gloss every watery name, Nessa mild and silver Spio came. Simotho and Simodos were nigh, and the blue languish of soft Alia's eye. Their locks Asteia and Limnoria rear, then Proto-Doris Panope appear. Thoa Ferusa Doto Melita agave gentle and Amphithogae. I'm struggling with all these names. I'm sorry, but these names are throwing me off. Next, Kalyanira Kalyanassa show their sister looks Dexamine the slow, and swift Dynamine now cut the tides. Iera now the verdant wave divides. Nemertes with Apsuades lifts the head, bright Galatea quits her pearly bed. These Orithia Clymene attend, Meira Amphinome the train extend, and black Genera and Genessa fair, and Amathea with her amber hair. All these and all that deep in ocean held, their sacred seats the glimmering grotto filled. Each beat her ivory breast with silent woe, till Thetis's sorrows thus began to flow. I'm sorry, but those names really threw me off there. It took me so long to get through them. Hear me and judge ye sisters of the main, how just a cause has Thetis to complain. How wretched were I mortal were my fate. How more than wretched is the immortal state in the immortal state. Sprung from my bed a godlike hero came, the bravest far that ever bore the name. Like some fair olive by my careful hand, he grew, he flourished, and adorned the land. To Troy I sent him, but the fates ordain, he never, never must return again. So short a space the light of heaven to view, so short, alas, and filled with anguish too. Hear how his sorrows echo through the shore. I cannot ease them, but I must deplore. I go at least to bear a tender part, and mourn my loved one with a mother's heart. She said, and left the caverns of the main, all bathed in tears the melancholy train. Attend her way, wide opening part the tides, while the long pomp the silver wave divides. Approaching now they touched the Trojan land, then 2 by 2 ascended up the strand. The immortal mother standing close beside, her mournful offspring to his sighs replied. Along the coast their mingled clamours rang, and thus the silver-footed dame began. Why mourns my son thy late preferred request? The god has granted, and the Greeks distressed. Why mourns my son? Thy anguish let me share. Reveal the cause, and trust a parent's care. He, deeply groaning to this cureless grief, not even the thunderer's favour brings relief. Patroclus, say goddess, can I boast a pleasure now? Revenge itself is lost. Patroclus, loved of all my martial train, beyond mankind, beyond myself is slain. Lost are those arms the gods themselves bestowed, on Peleus Hector bears the glorious load. Cursed be that day when all the powers above thy charms submitted to a mortal love. O hadst thou still a sister of the main, pursued the pleasures of the watery reign, and happier Peleus, less ambitious, led a mortal beauty to his equal bed, ere the sad fruit of thy unhappy womb had caused such sorrows past and woes to come. For soon, alas, that wretched offspring slain, new woes, new sorrows shall create again. 'Tis not in fate the alternate now to give. Patroclus dead, Achilles hates to live. Let me revenge it on proud Hector's heart. Let his last spirit smoke upon my dart. On these conditions will I breathe till then. I blush to walk among the race of men. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. Managed to get 8 pages in, somehow. But anyway, yes, we come to the end of the episode, so I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.